So basically these are the current affairs issues, and I will be discussing only the important concepts. The first is Chit Fund Amendment Bill. Here what is important is basically who regulates chit funds. So neither RBI nor SEBI. It is regulated by the respective state governments. You must know this thing, right? So this thing can be asked in the examination. Who regulates chit funds? Next is alternative investment funds. So we already discussed the meaning of alternative investment fund. There is a news about this. The Union Cabinet has approved creation of AIF of rupees 25,000 crore to provide last mile funding for stalled affordable and middle income housing projects, right? So basically, why this? Because as per some experts, India is facing 4 balance sheet crises. What is 4 balance sheet crisis? So earlier we were facing twin balance sheet crisis, which included the bank's balance sheet and the corporate balance sheet, right? So corporate balance sheet became bad because of global recession of 2008, and because of that the bank's balance sheet also become poor. Now recently 2 more sectors have come under the grip of recession. One is NBFC and another is real estate. So especially after the demonetization and other economic slowdown, this real estate sector, the growth came down heavily. The growth of the real estate sector came down heavily, and these NBFCs had given a lot of money to the real estate companies. So even the balance sheet of this NBFC company also came down. For example, DHFL, Dewan Housing Finance Company, right? So even the NBFC sector also came into the grip of slowdown. So now the balance sheet, bank, corporate, NBFC and real estate. So the government has been coming up with various packages to revive each of these sectors. So for NBFC we already discussed various reforms. For real estate also, they created one alternative investment fund so that those projects which are stalled, they can be restarted. So certain funds can be infused, and if construction is stopped in between, that construction gets completed, the houses can be delivered to the customer, and customer as well as project owner, developer, both are free from the crisis, right? So this was about this AIF, right? So Union Cabinet has approved the creation of AIF for stalled affordable and middle income housing projects, and as defined in SEBI, AIF refers to any privately pooled investment fund, whether from Indian or foreign sources, in the form of a trust or company. So this fund can be in the form of a trust, it can be in the form of company, body corporate or limited LLP. It does not include funds covered under SEBI mutual fund. So we have already discussed that it does not cover certain areas, and those are not considered to be AIF. Now there is a concept of bull and bear market, right? So what is bull and bear market? So bull market basically means, so markets, stock market, it is about the stock market. So when the investor is expecting that market will go up, that means the prices of the shares will go up, that is called bull market. And if it expects the price will come down, it is considered as a bear market, right? So this bull and bear. So in the recent COVID-19 situation, we see immediately after lockdown was declared, the market became bear, and now that we can see that Europe and America is not doing good. They are under the pressure of this COVID-19 situation, their economy is going to be very, very bad as compared to India. Now we can see that our stock market is on the bull mode, right? Next is circuit breakers. So what is circuit breakers? Again, this is a concept of stock market. So what happens? Suppose there is one investor who invested into the company called IRCTC, right? And he invested at rupees 1000 rupees per share. Now due to declaration of lockdown, immediately the people started selling the shares of the IRCTC, because IRCTC is in the business of tourism, and after this lockdown, this tourism is going to be badly affected for the next 1 year. For the next 1 year, IRCTC will be in losses. It will not earn any profit. So the shares will be coming down sharply. Now the experts believe that the value of this share is just 200 rupees, right? So to protect small investors from such huge losses, so if Mr. A, who is a small investor, has invested 1000 rupees and today the value become 200, he will lose 80% value. It will be a major loss to single investor. So to control this loss, there is a regulation that on a single day, if the value of any share comes down by 5% or 10% or 15% or 20%, depending upon the agreement between the company and the share market, and depending upon various different regulations. So in different companies it is different. In case of IRCTC, this is 5%. So the moment the value of the share comes down to 950 rupees, the trading of this share in the stock market will be halted, right? The shares will no longer be sold in the stock market, so that the further losses can be controlled, so that the people come to know that a small investor can actually sell their shares next day. So in a single day, only 5% loss is possible. So this is called circuit breaker, right? So this is applicable both in case of losses and in case of profit also. So many a time, in fact, I am discussing this IRCTC because this circuit breaker is in news because of this IRCTC only. This is the news of the March month, right? So this circuit breaker has been used in IRCTC in case of loss also, and nowadays you can see the share of the IRCTC is going very fast. It is moving upward very fast. So nowadays also the circuit breaker is being applied at every 5% increase, so that there is no manipulation, so that it is not that all the investor will come and invest into the IRCTC. Now why IRCTC shares are increasing? Because the people think IRCTC is a government company. For a short period of time it will be in loss, but long time it will be able to sustain because it is a backing of the government. So this is the concept of the circuit breaker. So you can see, apart from that, there is a concept of blue chip stocks. So bull and bear market. Blue chip stock means the shares of very large and well recognized companies which can endure even the tough market conditions, who have good reputation. Circuit breaker, this is the concept of SEBI, I have already discussed. So it can be applied at different stages, 10, 15, 20 and even 5% also, right? So all the trading will be halt. All the trading will be halt if there is sudden increase or sudden crash of the prices. Next is swap ratio. Why this swap ratio is in news? Because of merger of the state-owned banks. So many state-owned banks have been merged. Because of this, swap ratio is in news. So what is this swap ratio? Suppose there are two banks. One is a big bank and another is a small bank. The value of suppose this small bank is to be merged with the big bank as part of the government scheme of merger of the public sector banks. The value of big banks, each share is rupees 1000 and value of each share of the small bank is rupees 200, right? Now in a small bank there are total suppose 1 lakh shareholder, right? That means 1 lakh multiplied by 200, that is 200 lakh is the value of 200 lakh is the value of this small bank, right? Now if big bank want to make the payment to this shareholder, because now they are selling the shares of the small bank into the big bank, right? So big bank is supposed to sell its shares, like issue its shares to these shareholder. Now these shareholder have 1 lakh shares of 200 each, whose value is 200 lakh. Now value of this shares is 1000 rupees, value of this share is 200 rupees. So for each 5 shares, that is 200 into 5 equal to 1000. For each 5 shares, this big bank will issue 1 share, right? So for each 5 share of the small bank, it will issue 1 share, because the value of this share is 1000 rupees and the value of this share is just 200 rupees. So this ratio between 1/5 is called swap ratio. This is called swap ratio, right? So in this case, in our example, there are total how many shares? So there are total 1 lakh shares. So 1/5 into 1 lakh equal to 20,000 shares will be issued or sold by big bank. So this is how we can calculate that how much number of shares have to be issued by the big bank to the shareholder of the small bank, so that this merger can take place. So this is a mechanism whereby the compensation is paid to the shareholders of the bank which is being merged into the another bank. So this is called swap ratio, and this has been used in the recent months only. So you can go yourself. And how do we calculate this value? How do we calculate this value of 1000 or 200? That again depends upon the profile of each bank, the profit making ability, the customer base, the system, the future, the location, everything, right? And for my example, I have taken the example of 1200. The reverse is also possible. The reverse is possible, that the value of a small bank shares is 1000 and the value of big bank shares is 200. So in that case, swap ratio will be reversed, right? Next is National Investment and Infrastructure Fund. The name itself says this is the fund for infrastructure, right? Here this question was asked in 2017, that how much is the value? So the value is 40,000 crore. Please give me a minute.
Hello.
ध्रुव एक सेकंड ध्रुव एक सेकंड देना मुझे एक्चुअली.
Okay.
जी ध्रुव बताइए. यस यस. हाँ ठीक है ठीक है. अच्छा अच्छा ठीक है. ठीक है,
वो सब हम लोग को डिटेल्स फिल करते हैं।
ठीक है, ठीक है, श्योर श्योर,
व्हाट्सएप पे लिख के भेज देंगे।
ठीक है, मैं भेज दूँगा आपको, श्योर, थैंक यू। हाँ, हेलो,
हेलो सर।
yeah, so this NIIF, the value of this like the total quantum is 40,000 crore, and this is an investment vehicle which will be investing into the commercially viable greenfield, brownfield and stalled infrastructure project. What is the difference between greenfield and brownfield? Greenfield is basically a completely new project from scratch, right? Brownfield is that we are improving the existing infrastructure. For example, we talk about the airport. So if we have to construct altogether new airport at a new location, that is brownfield investment. On the other hand, if we say that we have to renovate Delhi airport, IGI, Indira Gandhi International Airport of New Delhi, so that is called I did the mistake. So if it is a completely new project, then that is greenfield, that is a completely new airport. If we are actually renovating existing project, that is brownfield, right? Am I audible properly? Hello? Yeah, am I audible properly? Okay. So the Indian government is investing 49% and rest of the fund is being raised from the third party investors. Sovereign wealth fund, for example, the sovereign wealth fund of Canada has actually invested, insurance, pension fund, endowment, etc. They will invest into different projects, and there are 3 fund under the NIIF. One is infrastructure fund, another is fund of fund, another is strategic fund. You can go through that, and I will be sending this particular file to you because in this file I have like done some restructuring of the content to make it more readable for you, right? So why this NIIF was in news? This was in news because NHAI signs the MOU with the NIIF for funding the highway project. Yeah. So NIIF will be investing into the NHAI. It is okay. So before I discuss about the government security, I would like to discuss about bond, right? So आप बॉन्ड के बारे में क्या जानते हैं, थोड़ा बताएंगे? Who would like to tell me something about bonds? Anyone? Okay, it is issued by the government to get the money from the market. Okay. Anyone else? So first of all, this is a financial instrument which is used to raise the money from the market, right? And it is not only the government, but any agency, including a company, state government, central government, public sector undertaking, financial institution, bank. So a variety of institutions and companies, they can use this instrument, right? Now, what is this bond? For example, let us take the example that I am the government of India. By the way, on behalf of the government, it is the RBI who issues the bonds, right? So suppose RBI issues some bond on behalf of the government, and the value of this bond is 100 rupees, like 100 rupees per unit. So this 100 rupees is called face value. This 100 rupees is called face value. Suppose Mr. A buys this bond, and Mr. A says that I will pay only 90 rupees for this bond. I will pay only 90 rupees for this bond. So this is called issue at discount. So if the sale value of the bond, or if the issue price, so this 90 rupees is the issue price. If issue price is less than the face value, then it is called issue at a discount. It is called issue at a discount. And let me tell you one thing, that there is a instrument called treasury bill. So treasury bill is an instrument which is used by the government to raise the loan for a short period of time, up to maximum 1 year, right? So treasury bill is a money market instrument, and the treasury bill can be issued only and only at a discount. It can be issued only and only at a discount, right? So this was the related information that I wanted to give to you. But now coming back to this concept of bond, right? If it is issued at 90 rupees, it is called issue at discount. If it is issued at 110 rupees, then this is called issue at premium. If it is issued at 100, then this is called issue at par. Then this is called issue at par, right? So depending upon the difference between the face value and the issue price, we can call it issue at a discount, issue at a premium, or issue at a par. And all the treasury bills, they are always issued at a discount. And this statement has actually already been asked in the prelims 2018. In the prelims 2018, in one of the question, one of the statement was that treasury bill is issued at a discount, right? So this kind of question has already been asked in the examination very recently. So government in this way, the RBI is able to raise 90 rupees. So Mr. A will give 90 rupees to RBI as the cash. Now, since RBI has taken the loan from Mr. A and Mr. A has given the loan, there is some income which is to be given by the RBI to the individual. कुछ ना कुछ तो पैसा देना ही पड़ेगा ना, कुछ ना कुछ तो इनकम देना ही पड़ेगा ना. उसी इनकम के लिए तो मिस्टर ए जो इन्वेस्टर है उसने पैसा दिया है गवर्नमेंट को, राइट? तो suppose government says or RBI says that we will provide you 10% interest. So this 10% interest is called coupon rate. This is called coupon rate, right? So till now we have covered three terms: face value, issue price, and coupon rate. These are the three different terms. Now, next, any bond which is issued has a predefined maturity time. That means after a certain period of time, this bond will be returned back to the RBI, and RBI will pay back the cash to Mr. A. Let us suppose the maturity value in this case is 5 years. So after 5 years, Mr. A will get back the cash. So this duration 5 year, this is called maturity period. Maturity period or tenure, T-E-N-U-R-E, tenure of the bond. So if you hear the term maturity period or if you hear the term tenure, it is nothing but the total duration of the bond, right? At the end of 5 years, the RBI will return back the money to Mr. A. Now, how much money will be returned back? Again, it can be equal to face value, that is, it can be at par, that is rupees 100, or it can be rupees 90, or it can be rupees 110. But mostly, this is either at par, that is either at least 100 rupees or more than that. Suppose 105 rupees, है ना, क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट ने लोन लिया है तो वापस करेगा तो कम तो वापस नहीं देगा ना, या तो जितना लिया है उतना देगा या उससे ज्यादा देगा. तो नॉर्मली this amount which is given back to investor is at least either at par or at premium, right? And this is called redemption value. This is called redemption value, right? So the amount which is returned back, the amount of principal which is returned back is called redemption value. I hope the concept is clear till now. So till now we have covered face value, we have covered the issue price, we have covered the coupon rate, we have covered the maturity period, and we have covered the redemption value. Any doubt till now in any of these terms? Anyone would like to ask? Yeah. Yeah, so your question is, if RBI is issuing bond of 100 rupees, then why Mr. A is buying it at 90 rupees? This is your question, right? So I will tell you answer to this question after some time when I discuss the question of treasury bill. Okay? In fact, it is quite possible that in this particular discussion, this query will be resolved, but for sure it will be resolved. Okay, now coming back. Now, from the point of view of investor, अगर हम इन्वेस्टर की बात करें तो इन्वेस्टर को क्या बेनिफिट हो रहा है, मिस्टर ए को क्या बेनिफिट हो रहा है ना? मिस्टर ए ने कितना पैसा इन्वेस्ट किया? हाउ मच मनी मिस्टर ए इन्वेस्टेड? मिस्टर ए इन्वेस्टेड ₹90. And how much total money he is getting? Proceeds. Proceeds means the money which he is receiving from the RBI because he has purchased this bond, है ना? तो proceeds are, first is annual interest, जो उसको annual interest मिल रहा है ना? So annual interest is 10 rupees per year for 5 years. That is 50 rupees. This is one part of the proceed. The second part of the proceed is the difference between issue price, sorry, not the issue price, yeah, issue price. तो जिस प्राइस पे उसने परचेज किया, that is 90 rupees, and the redemption value. तो redemption value हमने बताया कि 100 rupees है. So he will also get this 10 rupees of income, so his total income is 60 rupees during this 5 years. His total income is 60 rupees during this 5 years. So this is the income of the Mr. A. Any doubt till here? तो आपका जो सवाल था अभी, आपने जो क्वेश्चन पूछा था कि why he will buy at 90 rupees, because at the end he will get 100 rupees. So 10 rupees का उसको बेनिफिट हो जाएगा. ये आपका क्वेश्चन था ना? हाँ, तो बेसिकली अच्छा आप कह रहे हो कि आरबीआई क्यों 90 रुपीज का दे रहा है इसको, है ना? तो ये इसकी फेस वैल्यू है. फेस वैल्यू का मतलब हमने एक डेनोमिनेशन डिटरमिन की हुई है. जैसे 100 रुपीज का नोट होता है ना, कैश, है ना, तो ये 100 रुपीज़ का नोट है, लेकिन आप इसको 90 रुपीज़ में खरीदो और मैं इसको आपसे वापस 100 रुपये में ले लूंगा, तो एक तरह से मैं आपको 10 रुपये की इनकम दे रहा हूं. आई एम गिविंग यू 10 रुपीज़ ऑफ इनकम इन दिस वे. आर यू गेटिंग? जो एनुअल इंटरेस्ट है उसके अलावा मैं आपको एक इंसेंटिव दे रहा हूं, तो दिस इज एन इंसेंटिव विच इज गिवन बाय द आरबीआई टू द इन्वेस्टर. आर यू गेटिंग? आई एम like value is 100 rupees only, but I am RBI, I am selling it at less price to make it more attractive for the investor, so that more and more people can come, right? Okay, so next concept is bond price, and by the way let me tell you, this concept has been given in the NCERT of 12th class, and as of now there is no question asked on this concept, but I am very much sure UPSC can ask question anytime on this concept, because this concept is very very important. You will find a lot of time it is in news. Bond yield, bond price, interest rate is increasing, bond price is going down, bond yield is falling, and so on. You will find a lot of news in the newspaper. So this concept is very very important. Either it will be asked in the examination or you will find it in the interview. So please understand this entire mechanism very carefully. So now how do we determine the bond price? Bond price, first of all, why we need to determine the bond price? We already know the face value is 100 rupees. We already know the issue price is 90 rupees. So what is this bond price? So bond price is the price at which it will be traded in the secondary market. Now what is the meaning of trade? Trade means buying and selling. What is the meaning of secondary market? Secondary market means the market where all instruments are traded, है ना. तो I have already discussed this difference between the primary market and the secondary market in the last class. The difference is very simple. Primary market means first issue market, है ना. तो जो first time जब RBI ने मिस्टर ए को सेल किए थे, this was primary market, right? And now suppose Mr. A says कि I need this money before 5 years. I can't hold this bond for 5 years. I have some family obligation. I just want to sell it for any reason. So Mr. A want to sell it to Mr. B. So how much Mr. B should pay to Mr. A to buy this bond? So to complete this transaction between the two investors, we need to calculate the bond price. And this transaction between Mr. A and Mr. B is happening in the secondary market. So secondary market means where the transaction happens between the two investors. One investor is selling to another investor. There is no involvement of the government. There is no involvement of the company who actually issued the bond. उस कंपनी ने तो बॉन्ड इशू कर दिया, वो 5 साल बाद after 5 years, whosoever is holding that bond, the money will be paid to that particular person. So वो मिस्टर बी भी हो सकता है, मिस्टर ए भी हो सकता है, मिस्टर सी भी हो सकता है, कोई भी हो सकता है ना. तो गवर्नमेंट को या आरबीआई को जिसका जो भी उस समय बॉन्ड होल्डर होगा, इन्वेस्टर होगा, उसको जिसके पास भी वो बॉन्ड होगा उसको पैसे वापस देगा वो, है ना. लेकिन इन बिटवीन दिस बॉन्ड कैन बी सोल्ड बिटवीन मैनी पीपल, है ना. So for this transaction we need the bond price. Now how do we calculate the bond price? Calculation of bond price. Calculation of the bond price. So at this point I would like to ask a question from you. You have two choices. Either you take 100 rupees today from me, or I will give you 100 rupees after 3 years. Suppose I want to give to you. So which option you will choose? You would like to take 100 rupees today or after 3 years? ओके, एनीवन एल्स? तो आपने बोला कि आप 3 साल बाद लोगे पैसे मुझसे 100 रुपीज को। मैंने इंटरेस्ट नहीं देना, मैंने आपको, मैंने ऐसे बोला ही नहीं कि इंटरेस्ट दूंगा मैं। आज लोगे ना मुझसे पैसे, 3 साल बाद क्यों नहीं लोगे? लेकिन क्यों? ठीक है, आपने जो लॉजिक दिया कि एग्जैक्टली आप उस पैसे को कहीं भी यूज कर सकते हो। आप आज मुझसे 100 रुपीज लोगे और उस पैसे को आप जो है कहीं भी इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हो। 3 साल बाद आपको और पैसा उसका बढ़ जाएगा, 100 का 130 हो जाएगा, 140 हो जाएगा, है ना? तो यानी कि 3 साल बाद जो 130 और 140 होता, आज उसकी वैल्यू कितनी है? आफ्टर 3 इयर्स कितना है वो? सपोज 130 रुपीज हो जाएगा जब आप कहीं जमा करोगे, है ना? और आज वैल्यू कितनी है? द वैल्यू टुडे ऑफ दिस 100 रुपीज इज 100 रुपीज ओनली। आर यू गेटिंग? एवरीवन गेटिंग? कि इफ आई पे यू 100 रुपीज, दिस इज अ वैल्यू टुडे, एंड द सेम 100 रुपीज इफ यू इन्वेस्ट समवेयर, it will become 130 rupees, for example, after 3 years. So this 100 rupees today is the discounted value. This 100 rupees is the discounted value of rupees 130. This 100 rupees is called the discounted value of rupees 130. That discounted value means that if I want to calculate the value of 130 rupees which I will receive after 3 years, the value of 130 rupees which I will receive after 3 years, the value today is 100 rupees. This is called discounted value. Are you getting? आज discounted value 100 रुपीज है ना इसकी। आपने बोला ना कि सर मैं 100 रुपीज आज है इसकी वैल्यू, 3 साल बाद मैं इसको वैल्यू ज्यादा लूंगा मैं। एनी डाउट टिल नाउ? है ना? सो दिस इज द यूजुअल सिनेरियो, कॉमन सेंस की बात है, इसमें तो कुछ नया नहीं बता रहा हूं आपको मैं, सिर्फ मैं आई एम एडिंग सम टर्मिनोलॉजी फ्रॉम माय साइड, है ना? डिस्काउंटेड वैल्यू, है ना? सो नाउ टेल मी फ्रॉम द पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ मिस्टर ए. So Mr. A will be getting 50 rupees, Mr. A will be getting 10 rupees, and by the way, after 5 years, Mr. A will also be getting the redemption value, that is 90 rupees. जो ओरिजिनली पैसा दिया है आरबीआई को वो भी तो वापस मिलेगा ना उसको. So total how much is the cash flow with Mr. A? The total flow will be 50 plus 10 plus 90. That is 150 rupees. So he has paid 90 rupees and he will get back 150 rupees. 60 rupees is the income, but the total amount he will get back is 150 rupees. है ना? तो 150 rupees उसकी टोटल रिसीव होगी. टोटल कितना रिसीव करेगा? He will receive total 150 rupees during next 5 years. ठीक है? तो इसकी डिस्काउंटेड वैल्यू कितनी होगी? इफ वी वांट टू कैलकुलेट द वैल्यू ऑफ द बॉन्ड, इफ वी वांट टू कैलकुलेट द वैल्यू ऑफ द बॉन्ड, बेसिकली द प्राइस ऑफ द बॉन्ड, द सिंपल वे टू कैलकुलेट प्राइस ऑफ द बॉन्ड इज टू कैलकुलेट द प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ this 150 rupees or discounted value. This discounted value is also called the present value, right? Discounted value or present value, है ना? So I will calculate the present value or discounted value of 150 rupees, and that is how I can get the bond price. ठीक है? तो how I will calculate the present value? For calculating the present value, I will apply a formula. I'm not going to tell you the formula because that is not required for your purpose, but you need to understand that what is the rate that I will be taking for discounting this 150 rupees to the present. मतलब 150 rupees की वैल्यू आज कितनी होगी, that will depend upon some kind of interest rate, है ना? कुछ इंटरेस्ट रेट में मान के चलना पड़ेगा ना मुझे. 100 रुपीज से 130 मैंने कैसे माना, 130 से 100 कैसे माना? देयर इज सम इन्वॉल्वमेंट ऑफ सम इंटरेस्ट रेट. आई एम एज्यूमिंग सम इंटरेस्ट रेट. आई एम एज्यूमिंग सम इंटरेस्ट रेट एंड दैट इज बेसिकली द मार्केट इंटरेस्ट रेट, है ना। तो 130 की वैल्यू आज 100 रुपीज होगी, दैट इज एज पर द मार्केट रेट. आई हैव कैलकुलेटेड द प्रेजेंट वैल्यू एज पर द मार्केट रेट, है ना, मार्केट इंटरेस्ट रेट. सो अकॉर्डिंगली सपोज द प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ दिस 150 रुपीज इज रुपीज 110. सो दिस बिकम्स द बॉन्ड प्राइस. So how will we calculate? Basically 150 and multiplied by the present value factor. तो ये फॉर्मूला होता है प्रेजेंट वैल्यू फैक्टर. इट विल चेंज एज पर द मार्केट रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट. मार्केट रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट के हिसाब से ये जो प्रेजेंट वैल्यू फैक्टर है ये चेंज हो जाएगा, ठीक है. सो दिस इज हाउ आई विल कैलकुलेट द बॉन्ड प्राइस. एनी डाउट टिल नाउ? अभी तक किसी को कोई डाउट है? प्लीज बी वेरी वेरी क्लियर. इफ यू आर डाउटफुल अबाउट एनीथिंग, प्लीज बी vocal about it. Don't hold to yourself, because the discussion that I'll be doing now onwards is dependent upon the discussion that I have already done. So you need to be very clear about everything that I have discussed. अगर किसी को समझ में नहीं आया तो आप मुझे पूछ सकते हो अभी. Anyone? ये प्रैक्टिकल एग्जांपल दे रहा हूं मैं. ठीक है, आप वो ठीक है, आप कंपनी का नाम जोड़ लीजिए इसमें खुद से ही. अब लेकिन जितने भी मैं एग्जांपल ले रहा हूं 130 रुपीज 100, ये मैं आपकी लाइफ से इसलिए जोड़ रहा हूं जिससे कि आप इसे कोरिलेट कर सकें, है ना. नहीं, अभी 1 यूनिट की बात मान के चल रहे हैं ना हम लोग. लेट अस डिस्कस अबाउट 1 यूनिट ऑफ बॉन्ड ओनली टू मेक इट वेरी सिंपल, ठीक है ना. हाँ मनीष, आप कुछ पूछ रहे थे? मतलब ये तो मैं एग्जांपल यहाँ पे मान के चला, मैंने आप 5 इयर्स ले लो यहाँ पे. मैं तो एग्जांपल के लिए बोला आपसे कि 5 साल बाद आप मुझे 3 साल बाद 130 रुपए, 3 साल बाद 100 रुपीज लोगे, आज लोगे. तो अभी ने बोला कि मैं तो सर आज ही लूंगा क्योंकि 3 साल बाद तो मुझे 130 रुपीज में कमा सकता हूं इससे. वो एग्जांपल के लिए मैंने यहाँ पे एग्जांपल लिया था, फिर मैंने इसको जोड़ दिया बॉन्ड प्राइस से, ठीक है ना. हाँ 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 सुन रहा हूं मैं. नहीं, ये बाइंग एंड सेलिंग तो कभी भी हो सकती है ना, कभी भी हो सकती है. लेकिन जो प्रोसीड्स हैं या जो टोटल फ्यूचर में पैसा मिलने वाला है, हम उसकी डिस्काउंटेड वैल्यू लेंगे ना. उसकी प्रेजेंट वैल्यू कितनी है? मिस्टर ए जो है वो कितने रुपए पे सेल करेगा मिस्टर बी को? ये सेल करेगा एट द प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ ऑल द मनी इट विल रिसीव in the future from this bond. He will receive from this bond in future, है ना. तो मिस्टर बी को तो पता है कि मुझे 150 रुपीज, सॉरी मिस्टर ए को पता है कि मुझे 150 रुपीज मिलने वाले हैं, लेकिन ये आज नहीं मिलने वाले. ये मुझे 10 रुपए 10 रुपए 10 रुपए करके मिलेंगे और लास्ट में जाके मुझे 100 रुपीज मिलेंगे. तो अगर 150 रुपीज मुझे 5 साल में धीरे धीरे मिलेंगे, आज मैं इसकी प्रेजेंट वैल्यू कैलकुलेट करता हूं तो इसकी 110 रुपीज आ रही है. तो इसका मतलब 110 रुपीज में मैं इसको मिस्टर बी को सेल कर सकता हूं, ठीक है ना. यस, कोई भी इशू कर सकता है, आरबीआई भी इशू कर सकता है, कोई कंपनी भी इशू कर सकता है, कोई भी इशू कर सकता है. नहीं, see, your question is that how Mr. B will receive the money from RBI when RBI has sold to Mr. A. That is your question? Because okay, let me tell you, Manish, Surajit, Manish, please hold for a minute. So the answer is कि bond is a negotiable instrument, है ना. So या लास्ट क्लास में मैंने बताया था नेगोशिएबल इंस्ट्रूमेंट होते हैं, नेगोशिएबल इंस्ट्रूमेंट जो बाय एंड सेल हो सकते हैं, और वन ऑफ द फीचर इज दैट whosoever person is holding this bond at the end of the tenure, that person is the owner of this bond and RBI will pay money to him only. Are you get okay? Hold. Surajit, are you clear? देखो सिंपल सी बात है, आपका सवाल ये है कि अगर मिस्टर ए ने बाय किया, अगर मिस्टर ए ने आरबीआई से बॉन्ड बाय किया तो मिस्टर बी को पैसा कैसा देगा आरबीआई, आप ये पूछ रहे हो ना, क्योंकि मिस्टर ए जो है वो मिस्टर बी के नाम पे ट्रांसफर कर देगा, कुछ लीगल फॉर्मेलिटीज होंगी, वो लिख के दे देगा कि ये बॉन्ड मिस्टर बी का है। मिस्टर बी जो है वो एक्सचेंज में इनका जो होता है ना, हमारा जो स्टॉक एक्सचेंज होता है, उसी तरह से इसका भी एक एक्सचेंज होता है, तो वहां पर ट्रांजेक्शन दिख जाएगा, और आरबीआई अगर देखेगा कि आज की डेट में, तो उसको दिख जाएगा कि ये मिस्टर बी के पास है, तो मिस्टर बी के खाते में पैसा चला जाएगा, ठीक है ना। तो उसकी चिंता मत करो, वो लीगल फॉर्मेलिटी, वो सिस्टम, वो सब बना हुआ होता है, ठीक है। ठीक है, तो अभी बॉन्ड प्राइस का कॉन्सेप्ट सबको क्लियर है ना। हाउ डू वी कैलकुलेट द बॉन्ड प्राइस? नाउ द रिलेशन बिटवीन द बॉन्ड प्राइस एंड द इंटरेस्ट रेट, ठीक है। तो अब ये बताइए, माय क्वेश्चन इज, इफ इंटरेस्ट रेट इंक्रीजेस then whether bond price will increase or decrease. If the market rate interest rate increases, then bond price will increase or decrease? No, answer is the bond price will decrease. So please understand that there is an inverse relationship. Are you making the notes on your notebook, everyone? Please make that, otherwise you will get confused, है ना। Inverse relationship between interest rate and the bond price. Please keep in mind, this statement can be asked in the examination, that whether the relationship is inverse or direct, है ना। तो there is an inverse relationship between the interest rate and the bond price, और वो कैसे है? तो सिंपली, क्योंकि जैसे मैंने आपको बताया था कि बॉन्ड प्राइस इज बेसिकली ऑल द मनी जो फ्यूचर में रिसीव होंगी, टू बी रिसीव्ड, दैट इज 150 रुपीज मल्टीप्लाइड बाय प्रेजेंट वैल्यू फैक्टर। तो ये जो प्रेजेंट वैल्यू फैक्टर है, अगर इंटरेस्ट बढ़ता है तो ये प्रेजेंट वैल्यू फैक्टर कम होता है, अदरवाइज बढ़ता है। मतलब सिंपली मैं आपको आपकी लाइफ से एग्जांपल देता हूं, अदरवाइज यू विल गेट कंफ्यूज्ड। टुडे द बॉन्ड प्राइस इज ₹100, ठीक है, एंड द मार्केट रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट इज 10%, ठीक है। Now the market rate of interest increases to 12%, लेकिन बॉन्ड पे जो इंटरेस्ट मिल रहा है वो 10% ही है। बॉन्ड पे जो इंटरेस्ट मिला है वो 10% है, मार्केट का जो इंटरेस्ट है वो बढ़ चुका है। सो दैट मीन्स इफ समवन इज हैविंग दिस बॉन्ड, suppose you are having this bond who is giving you a 10% return, but in the market on the similar kind of instrument you can get 12%, so you will buy or sell this bond. You will buy more bond of this kind or you will sell this bond. Sorry, you will sell this bond, क्योंकि आपको रेट मिल रहा है कितना, 10%। आपको अगर इसको सेल करोगे, आप कोई दूसरा इंस्ट्रूमेंट खरीदोगे मार्केट में जाके, आपको कितना मिलेगा, 12%, है ना। वेरी क्लियर। दैट मीन्स अगर आप सेल करते हो एनीथिंग विच इज सोल्ड, जिसको लोग सेल करना शुरू कर देते हैं, उसका प्राइस कम होता है या प्राइस बढ़ता है उसका? अगर आप उसको अगर मैंने भी सेल किया, आपने भी सेल किया, देखा देखी सब लोगों ने सेल करना शुरू कर दिया क्योंकि इसका रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट तो कम है, तो इसका प्राइस डाउन जाएगा या अप जाएगा? वेदर द प्राइस विल कम डाउन और विल इंक्रीज? द प्राइस विल डिक्रीज. सो नाउ कैन यू सी, if the interest rate is increasing, the price is going down. Can you see? And this is exactly what I told you here. There is an inverse relationship between the interest rate and the bond price. Are you getting? So without understanding the formula, this present value etc., which is not required for you, you can just see that if the interest rate is increasing, the price is going down. So there is an inverse relationship between the bond price and the market interest rate. Any doubt till now? So this is the one thing that you should know. Next concept is the concept of bond yield. The concept of bond yield. Bond yield. First of all, what is the yield? Yield is the income earned by investor or we also call bond holder on the bond. कितनी उसने इनकम अर्न की उसको हम बोलते हैं बॉन्ड यील्ड. एंड दिस इज इक्वल टू बेसिकली, normally this is equal to the coupon income divided by the bond price, है ना? तो simply just understand coupon income क्या होती है. coupon income is basically coupon rate. What is coupon rate? Coupon rate is the rate of interest promised by the RBI or by the issuer. That is, in our example, this is 10%. So this coupon income is basically the total income which Mr. A will receive from RBI on an annual basis, right? So that is bond yield. So this coupon income कितनी होगी? This coupon income is 50 rupees in our case. So this 50 rupees divided by this bond price, right? Coupon income divided by bond price. This coupon income will be fixed because this is the promised fixed return which will be given by the RBI, and this is basically 50 rupees. ये फिक्स ही रहेगा, इसमें कोई चेंज नहीं होगा पूरे 5 साल में. चाहे बॉन्ड प्राइस 100 रुपीज हो जाए, चाहे 10 रुपीज हो जाए, चाहे 1000 रुपीज हो जाए, RBI तो 50 रुपीज ही देने वाला है. RBI को मतलब नहीं है इस बात से कि मार्केट में क्या प्राइस चल रहा है बॉन्ड का. RBI विल गिव ओनली 50 रुपीज. Now tell me, if bond price increases, okay, now tell me the relationship between bond price and yield. Whether this relationship is direct or inverse. Everyone please tell me whether the relationship between bond price and the bond yield is direct relationship or inverse. और कोई बताएगा? सुराजीत, जीवी बाबू, दिव्या. It will be inverse. Very simple, है ना? Very clearly visible from this formula itself, है ना? If the bond price increases, the yield will come down. If bond price decreases, the yield will go up. Very simple. So there will be direct relationship, inverse relationship between the bond yield and the bond price, right? Now let us make a summary. Interest rate, bond price and bond yield. interest rate, if interest rate increases, the bond price will come down or it will go up? It will decrease and the bond yield will increase, and vice versa. So there is an inverse relationship between the interest rate and the bond price, between the bond price and the bond yield, and there is a direct relationship between the interest rate and the bond yield. Everyone clear? So I wanted to tell about this relationship, and I have already told you the logic of this relationship. All the discussion that I am doing, I have picked up all this content from the RBI website, because the UPSC will generally ask the questions from any government website only, and you will find many a time the direct statement in the exam from the government website. So this definition of bond I have taken from the government RBI website. So a bond is a debt instrument. लास्ट वाली जो लाइन है, ओनर्स ऑफ बॉन्ड्स आर डेट होल्डर और क्रेडिटर ऑफ द इशूअर, है ना, और ओनर्स ऑफ बॉन्ड आर ऑल्सो द बॉन्ड होल्डर और इन्वेस्टर. तो मिस्टर ए, उसको डेट होल्डर भी बोल सकते हैं, उसको बॉन्ड होल्डर भी बोल सकते हैं, उसको क्रेडिटर भी बोल सकते हैं, उसको इन्वेस्टर भी बोल सकते हैं, बहुत सारे नाम हैं उसके. एनीवन एनी डाउट इन दिस स्लाइड? Clear to everyone? Okay, great. Yeah. Yeah, please ask. Hello. You can see bond term में issuer, suppose RBI. RBI is the borrower, है ना, जिसने लोन रेज किया है. Investor, Mr. A in our example, also called lender or creditor or investor or bond holder or debt holder. So these are the different terms you will come across in the newspapers also. Then principal or face value or par value, है ना, that is the amount borrowed, ₹100, है ना. So this amount in fact this line is not correct conceptually. Amount borrowed is equal to issue price, है ना. So issue price and this principal value, face value, par value, the both can be different. I have already told you though with the example, है ना. तो issue price can be at discount, it can be at premium, or it can be at par. So अगर par पे है तो equal to amount borrow हो जाएगा, otherwise नहीं होगा. Coupon rate is equal to the interest rate promised, है ना. It is different from the market interest rate, है ना. तो मार्केट इंटरेस्ट रेट जो रेपो रेट के हिसाब से घूमता फिरता रहता है वो अलग है. ये कूपन रेट जो उस बॉन्ड पे प्रॉमिस किया हुआ है, उस इंटरेस्ट रेट की बात कर रहे हैं हम लोग. सो डोंट गेट कंफ्यूज्ड. दिस इंटरेस्ट रेट विल नॉट चेंज नॉर्मली. मार्केट रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट विल कीप चेंजिंग एंड अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट द बॉन्ड प्राइस विल कीप चेंजिंग. Then we have coupon, that is the interest payment, and this is suppose 10 rupees per annum, which we gave in our example. Maturity, that is the due date after 5 years in our example. Term is basically the time until 5 years. So maturity ये particular date होगी. For example, अगर issue date 1st of January 2020 है, so this due date will be after 5 years, that is on 31st of December 2025, है ना. सो दिस मैच्योरिटी और ड्यू डेट इज द पार्टिकुलर डेट. ये डेट की बात कर रहे हैं. और टर्म की बात हम करते हैं तो वी आर बेसिकली टॉकिंग अबाउट द टोटल ड्यूरेशन और टोटल टेन्योर. इसको टेन्योर भी बोलते हैं, TENURE. देन यील्ड टू मैच्योरिटी, सो एनुअलाइज्ड रिटर्न ऑन बॉन्ड इन्वेस्टमेंट, है ना. तो yield to maturity, this is nothing but the bond yield. एनुअलाइज होती है ना ये, हम इसको एनुअलाइज कर लेते हैं. मार्केट वैल्यू और इसको हम बोल सकते हैं बॉन्ड प्राइस, और दिस इज द करंट प्राइस, यानी कि आज की डेट में हाउ मच अमाउंट दिस कैन बी सोल्ड इन द सेकेंडरी मार्केट. सो मार्केट वैल्यू और बॉन्ड प्राइस और करंट प्राइस, दीज आर द सेम टर्म. आई होप एवरी कॉन्सेप्ट इज क्लियर टू यू टिल नाउ. Now this I have already discussed about this. Bond yield is the return an investor realizes on bond. So this I have already discussed. Bond yield can be defined in different ways. Setting the bond yield equal to coupon rate is the simplest definition. तो अभी जो आप बार-बार सवाल पूछ रहे थे ना, ये हम अलग-अलग क्यों कैलकुलेट कर रहे हैं, तो मोस्ट सिंप्लीफाइड मैनर में अगर मार्केट में कोई भी चेंज नहीं होती है, हम परफेक्ट कंडीशन मान के चलते हैं मार्केट में, तो ये इक्वल रहने वाला है. लेकिन मार्केट में बहुत तरह के चेंज होते हैं, सो वी विल गो फॉर द कॉम्प्लेक्स कैलकुलेशन एंड दैट आई हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड. द सिंपलेस्ट वे ऑफ कैलकुलेटिंग द बॉन्ड यील्ड इज टू डिवाइड इट्स कूपन पेमेंट बाय द फेस वैल्यू ऑफ द बॉन्ड. दिस इज कॉल्ड द कूपन रेट, है ना, इसको कूपन रेट बोलते हैं. तो कूपन रेट क्या होता है, डिवाइड द कूपन पेमेंट दैट इज 10 डिवाइडेड बाय द कूपन रेट, सॉरी बाय द फेस वैल्यू, दैट इज, सो दैट इज द कूपन रेट. 10% is the coupon rate. In case, like this is a very simplistic definition again, we are assuming ki like the concept of present value, all those we discussed, उसको ignore करेंगे तो ये आता है. ये मैंने already discuss कर लिया है आपका. ये I will give this slide to you, I will email to you so you can read at that point of time. You can see over here, as bond yield prices increase, bond yield falls. I have already discussed.